And that music means it is time for our social media segment here on Take Action News. We are joined, as we always are, by our social media guru, Dr. Alan Rosenblatt. You can follow him on Twitter at Dr. Digipol. And the first topic, Alan, today is DC statehood. There's a furious battle underway. A lot of people supporting DC statehood. There are some who are opposed. There's a hashtag called Free DC. Is that one of the best ways for either side to get involved in this debate online?
You know, it should be, but I just took a look at it, and there's virtually no traffic on it at all. I think you're the most common tweeter using the hashtag at this point.
So what is the best way for people who want to use social media to either promote or to criticize the move for DC statehood?
Well, I think, well, there's a couple things. The Free DC campaign itself is a little more obscure because it focuses on it's a referendum to allow DC to be able to spend the money it collects through taxes without congressional approval, which is currently the situation. And that's one element of moving towards DC autonomy, DC statehood. The larger question of whether or not DC has representation, whether it's being taxed without representation, that's the really big issue. And the big problem with the campaign all along has been that in order for it to happen, you have to get the support of members of Congress across the country. And most people in this country don't really know anything about the issue. In fact, far too many of them think DC already has representation, and they don't seem to get the issue. So I think that there's two elements to what's going on here. One is to mobilize people inside of DC to vote for this referendum on the free DC budget issue. But I think the larger issue is that anybody who's really interested in promoting DC statehood, aside from taking action on the DCVote.org website on their various campaigns, is to just start sharing information with their friends and families across the country, telling them the truth, that people who live in DC get taxed just like the rest of us, but don't have any votes in Congress. Eleanor Holmes Norton is a delegate in Congress. She's only allowed to vote in committee. She's not allowed to vote on the floor for any final bills. So in the end, DC has zero vote in the House, no real effective vote in the House, and they don't have any senator whatsoever. And until the whole country knows about that and we push this whole idea, and it's something I think we can get the left and the right behind, because this is tyranny, right? You can get the right behind it as much as you can get with the left behind it, and I think more than anything, we need to get the whole country aware. Some friends of mine at worthyfoes.com did a short documentary and a long documentary called An Unnatural State, which was sort of a lighthearted look at DC voting rights and DC statehood, because there's very concerned. They wanted to be able to get people to pay attention to the issue, to learn about it without their eyes glazing over within the first 30 seconds.
Alan, I'm with you on tyranny. I mean, our nation was founded, we had a revolution against the British because the British were imposing taxes and doing different things to the colonists who did not have representation in the British Parliament. Equal, taxation without representation. That was a rallying cry, and yet we have that in modern day United States with the District of Columbia, and it's a shame. We're talking with Alan Rosenblatt, who's our social media guru, Dr. Digipol on Twitter. Alan, I want to talk about you have a series of how-tos that you've been doing in this segment. The idea of integrating Twitter and Pinterest. First, explain what Pinterest is, and why is it a wise idea to integrate the two?
So Pinterest is a social network which is about taking the URL of any piece of content on the web that has a good picture in it and pinning it to a board, which is basically a collection of images on your Pinterest homepage based on a theme, where you put a caption under it, and if somebody clicks on the image, it goes back to the original link. It's one of the reasons why it's really key is because it has got 20, 30 million people, and they tend to be older women, which is a demographic that you really can't get to very well on other social network platforms, or at least not nearly as well. So because it's such a key demographic, Pinterest becomes extremely interesting in that context. Traditionally, most of what's going on Pinterest in the United States is recipes and crafts and things like that.
It's huge.
And that's but there's been a move towards more and more politics. So I had a colleague that came to me the other day and said, you know, we're doing this campaign where we're creating a lot of images with quotes on them, and we want to get them out. Is there some way that we can take advantage of Pinterest that feeds into Twitter? And I thought about it for a moment, and then I did a quick experiment. And sure enough, something you can do with Twitter that you cannot do with Facebook is that if you take the images in this series that they're doing, or whatever series you might be doing for your own campaign, and you tweet them first so that they get loaded up to Twitter using YFrog or TwitPic or one of these things, and then each and every one of these tweets has a permanent URL. When you look at the tweet itself, if you click on the timestamp on the tweet, it takes you to a standalone page with that tweet and nothing else. Then you take that URL for that permanent link for the tweet itself, and you pin it to the board you've created in Pinterest. Then Pinterest pulls in the image from that tweet. You write the tweet as the caption, and underneath it you say, click on the image to go to Twitter to retweet this image. And then when you click on the image, it takes you right back to the tweet, ready to click and tweet. And it just seemed, and that worked really, really well. You can't do this on Facebook because Facebook has that lightbox kind of structure where you click on a picture and it pops open that black background overlay.
Right.
And because of the layering of the web pages that are done like that, those don't actually work on Pinterest.